Hello all my beautiful sisters from those other misters, welcome back to another Just Doing My Makeup. So today I am just doing my makeup. I'm going to do like my sort of everyday type makeup. So this is a sort of makeup, I just stabbed myself in the face. This is the sort of makeup I do when I want to look nice but I don't want to pack on like a shit ton of makeup. So sometimes I'll do this when I'm going out with friends, or even if I'm just going to the supermarket and I just feel like I want to look nice and put together that day. I might wear this type of makeup when I go like clothes shopping or something like that. And sometimes I just put on this face because I just want to feel nice. So tonight I am going out somewhere and I do want to wear makeup, but I don't want to wear a lot. Why is this light right in my face? That shouldn't be there. There we go. Let's fix this up. What are we doing, guys? So yeah, this is sort of my everyday makeup. It's not really like difficult makeup. It's very, very simple. Now I did ask on my community tab on YouTube if you guys had any questions for me, and I got a lot more responses than I expected to, so I will answer them in this video. I've got lip balm on my lips. I want to take it off because I don't want to smear it on my face when I'm applying foundation. And I'm gonna start. To start, a skip primer. I just don't really, like, I don't care about it more often than not. Primer just doesn't do a whole lot for me. And if it does do something, it's kind of so minimal that I just don't care. Now, I'm going to use the Peach Perfect foundation from Too Faced today. And I feel like I always like to apply my concealer first because if I don't work quickly enough with it, it can set and get a bit funny. So I'm taking the Colourpop No Filter Concealer. This is in the shade Light 20. However, they have changed up their names, so I don't know if this is still Light 20. And I'm just going to chuck just a little bit under my eyes. My skin's looking a little bit splotchy today. I don't know why. The redness is really coming out on camera. Well, why? Hakuhodo G5552. This is fairly new to my life, and I really love it. I'm just going to use that to sort of blend and stipple and get the foundation in there. So before I start answering some questions, I just want to have a little bitch and complain about my first world fucking problems. I recently, or not even recently, it's been well over a month, I changed internet service providers, and I don't know. Oh, it's a disaster. Oh, okay. I've been using retinol products recently, and yeah, my skin is not coping well. Let's not use that brush. Let's use the fingers. Okay, so I changed internet service providers because I was with TPG and they were really good. Not super fast, but oh, fingers don't help much. Not super fast, but reliable. Anyway, I changed over to Telstra because I thought they'll be faster. I'll get faster upload times. I'll be happy, or upload speed, sorry. I'll be happy because then I'll be able to upload videos quicker. And also I changed my phone over to Telstra and had no problems with it. Like, it was so good. They switched my phone number and everything. It was all like basically headache free. Actually, it wasn't headache free. When I was trying to sign up for a Telstra account, that was a headache. I had to go in store. But anyway, I made the decision to move my internet service provider to Telstra. Well, something I failed to realise is I would have to change my email address because I've had the same email address with TPG for like, I've been with them for like 12 years. And it didn't occur to me when I was signing up that I would lose my email address. And I could have like paid to keep the email address, but it's ridiculously expensive for a fucking email address. So not only did I end up with not faster internet, in fact, sometimes even slower fucking internet, I also have to go through and like change my email address over like 12 years worth of signing up to accounts and like business people and fucking like, oh my god. Jesus help me. Jesus fucking help me. I also feel so sorry for myself due to the skin that is going on around my eyes. Wow. I don't know if I really want to continue with the retinols seeing this. This is making me very sad. I'm going to take the Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation and I'm going to apply it with a Hakuhodo G5556. So, first question. This is from someone named Generic Name. I like it. The question is, old makeup trends that you miss and ones you really don't miss. So, look, I really don't think there's any makeup trends that I miss. I sort of look at makeup trends like most of them are fucking stupid. It's shit that's like started on Instagram as like, you know, to entice people to watch and very clickbaity. Sort of like, you know, fucking squiggly eyebrows or plaited eyebrows. I'm just like, go away. I have no fucking interest in you. Glittery lip products. Oh my god. They are one of my most hated at the moment. So stuff like that, like I can't stand it. But can't really think of any trends that I miss. You know, you think about the traditional trends like going from warm eyeshadows to cool eyeshadows, which, you know, we're going through that transition now. And that's just a natural cycle, really. That happens every few years. So, you know, I'm not surprised that people are ready to move on to cool shadows. But I think it's a little bit different to, you know, what it was the last time cool eyeshadows came around. So last time it was a lot of like grey tones and purple tones, and now I think people are looking for more coloured cool tones, which are blues and greens and I mean purple, that's a given. So I think it's a little bit different, but I do think it's mostly like just a cycle, the natural cycle of like the beauty world. And you watch, people will eventually get sick of cool tone shades once that's, you know, run its course, and they'll be asking for warm tones again, but they'll be slightly different to the sort of reds and oranges and burnt shades that we're just moving away from now. Kate D asks a very relevant question. Current favorite foundation? This guy. Also, I'm loving the, oh my god, what's it called? Pro Glow from L'Oreal. I really, really like that foundation, even on my oily skin. I just think it is beautiful and it wears so well. So I'm really enjoying a bit more of a lower coverage foundation these days. I don't really love super heavy coverage. I don't feel like I need it, and also like my skin is too old for that shit. When you wear super heavy coverage foundation, when your skin is like aging, it just, I don't like the way it looks on my skin. So this like Peach Perfect one and Pro Glow, they offer good coverage, but it's not really thick and cakey and heavy. So your skin sort of still shows through a bit. Like you can still see a little bit of my skin coming through there, but it just looks a little bit more even. So that's what I'm really drawn to with makeup at the moment. Crystal wants to know, what are your favorite eyeshadow singles? She's tired of buying palettes for one shade. Yeah, and looking for some bomb ass interesting gorgeous singles that I compare with my 100 neutral palettes. Okay, I do not buy single eyeshadows unless they are like special. So they have to be like something that my collection like my eyeshadow palettes just do not offer me. And like there's no, okay, there's one particular brand that I go to for those types of eyeshadows, and that is Inglot, and I actually buy their pigments, and I always go for like the really sparkly metallic duochrome ones. I don't buy their standard pigments because for me, using a pigment takes a lot more effort, and unless it's really special, it's not worth the hassle to me. So that's mostly where I focus when I'm buying special eyeshadows. Otherwise, I just like keep an eye out for interesting stuff. Like, you know, sometimes MAC will have like limited edition, something really, really interesting. But I don't, like, there's no other specific brands that I buy singles from because they have a huge range of really great, amazing eyeshadows. Other brands, like, I think a good place to look is like indie brands, because they're sort of doing all the really interesting stuff that the beauty community is asking for, but not receiving from the big brands because the big brands aren't willing to like take the risk. So that would be my advice for you know, trying to find some really interesting, cool single eyeshadows to add to your collection. Mayu loves 858. Do you plan your makeup ahead or just go along with what you like on that day? Yeah, I just pretty much do whatever I want. Sometimes I'll be inspired by a particular item in my collection, and I'll base my makeup around that, but I really just wing it most of the time. I just do whatever my little heart desires. Okay, Mayu Loves goes on to ask, do you ever look at your collection and feel like you have nothing really to play with or aren't even the slightest excited to use, especially eyeshadow palettes and lipsticks? No. No, I do not. I have never experienced that feeling. I have a massive collection. I have more than any one person could ever use. And often I look at my collection and I actually feel really sad that I can't use it more when I'm out there buying new makeup. So that's why this year I've gone on a low buy. I'm like, I'm not interested in new makeup. Like, it would have to be fucking amazing to like really get me excited to buy anything. Like the Smashbox of Ladder MUA highlighter that I bought, that excited me. I was so excited to buy that, and I did straight away. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm really happy to add that to my collection. But most stuff that I see being released now, I'm like, it's pretty, but I don't want it. It's like, it doesn't interest me. I'm gonna start doing my eyes. So this is what I do every time I do my eyeshadow. I take my primer. I'm currently using the Lorac Behind the Scenes Eye Primer, and I put that all over my lid and all over like my brow bone up to my eyebrow. I also realized that I failed to talk about this foundation, which was something that I wanted to do. So this foundation, like I said, it's got a nice sort of buildable medium coverage. It doesn't dry completely matte. I actually, in some places it does, but I actually find other areas it dries a bit tacky or sets a bit tacky. Oh my god, I was about to put that on my under eye. I'd hate myself. So yeah, it can dry a little bit tacky to the touch, but it just wears so well. It wears so well on me, and I really like how it doesn't look like cakey or thick on the face. I really like that. Okay, next step, I take my Inglot 328 eyeshadow. I've been through so many of these. I use these every single time I do my eyeshadow. Every single time for this particular step. I'm going to take a Hakuhodo S5523A, which is just a flat paddle brush. Now usually I would take this from my crease in here up to my eyebrow, but for this particular look I'm actually going to put it all over. all over. It's gonna set that primer. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce people's name in this video. Please do not be offended. Nazil, who do you enjoy watching on YouTube? So I enjoy watching my friends, like people in the industry. I like to support them. But I actually mostly watch like news related stuff, like Philip DeFranco I really enjoy. Emergency Awesome, I love watching like the reviews and breakdowns of TV shows. I like creepy stuff as well. I really like to watch anything that, you know, kind of gives me chills. Lisa would like to know what eyeliners to use in the waterline that don't budge. This is actually going to be kind of difficult to answer because everyone's actually different. Like, something that doesn't budge on me might literally like run down your face within minutes of applying it, and something that works for you might not work for me. Like body chemistry with makeup, it's an actual thing. So it's hard for me to offer solid advice on this. The one that I always come back to, like, I like my MAC Black Tracks. A lot of people don't like that though. But the one that I always come back to over and over and over again is the Bobbi Brown Black Ink Longwear Gel Eyeliner. That's always the one that I've, like, you know, come back to time and time again. If you want a pencil form, one that I really enjoyed that worked for me was the Marc Jacobs, I think they're called, are they the Highliners? Yeah, so they're the Highliner Gel Eyeliner Pencils. They always worked really well for me, and that's like, if I wasn't gonna buy the Bobbi Brown for doing like my waterline and wings, I would buy the Marc Jacobs just for the waterline. That's one that always stood out to me. Oh, this is a good question. So this is from Synthesis Styling. How is your makeup changing as you get older to accommodate mature skin? Oh, very difficult. I guess when you get older, like, your skin texture really changes. Pores become a thing, especially if you know, if you're like me and you have oily skin. Also, you get these fucking lines, expression lines, and makeup will settle into them. You get fine lines under your eyes, so things start to look crepey and disgusting, and then you buy a retinol eye cream and hope that that will fix all of your problems, and in actual fact it just gives you weird flaky skin around your eyes. It's very rude. I'm very, very offended by this aging bullshit. Also, another thing I've noticed, the skin sort of in this part of the eye is not, it's not as tight as it once was. So sometimes I'll go in with an eyeshadow, like a matte eyeshadow, to sort of blend it in and make a halo eye, and it will get all skippy and fucked up, and like, I can't even tell you, you have to adapt to this shit. And when it first happens, you're like, I do not like this makeup thing, Sam I am. Makeup thing is not my friend anymore. But I guess what I've noticed recently is I'm going for less coverage, thinner layers of everything. That would be my biggest piece of advice, and this is something that I've done with clients as well. When you're working on mature skin, always use the thinnest layer and build from there. Never go on really thick and heavy to like cover something up. Always color correct if you have to. Use like the tiniest spot of concealer and then go in with a really thin layer of foundation. You still need the skin to like show through, so that it does make the skin appear younger, but also so that the skin doesn't sort of like cause foundation and product to like merge into lines, which is going to make you look so much more aged and like really cakey and kind of gross. So that's the biggest thing that, you know, I've had to adapt to. And I suppose accepting the fact that while I already knew these techniques to use on mature skin, it's suddenly becoming something that I have to use on myself, whereas I used to get away with pretty much just doing whatever the fuck I wanted. So, you know, that's sad, because you start to realize that you're getting old. I'm gonna use the Urban Decay Naked Smokey palette. I love this. I'm taking one shade. This is like a one eyeshadow look. I want to use Combust, this one here. So it's a cool toned, sort of, you know, skin colored eyeshadow. It's got some pinky tones to it and a little bit of grey in there. And basically all I'm going to do is take it through my crease and a little bit on the outer corner, and that is to basically bring some dimension back to the eye, because I've applied concealer, foundation, primer, and then a skin toned eyeshadow over my eye, pretty much blanked everything out. So this will just bring a little bit of shape back to the eye, mostly when I blink, so it doesn't look like this weird blank canvas. I'm going to start with a J5529 from Hakuhodo. This is a itty bitty blender, nice and stiff. And before I start doing that, Ashley would like to know, if you could keep just one product of each makeup category, what would they be? Honestly, I don't actually know. Like, foundation, I can't choose the Too Faced because we can't even buy it in Australia. Pro Glow maybe, or CoverGirl 3-in-1 Stay Flawless. Concealer, I'd probably just choose like the Maybelline Fit Me. Mascara, I don't know. I flip-flop so much with mascara. Eyeshadows, I'd probably just choose a Bare Minerals palette. Blush, I wouldn't even choose blush. Fuck blush. Blush annoys the shit out of me these days. Bronzer, probably either Laguna. Yeah, I'd choose Laguna from NARS. That's probably one of my favorites. What else? Brows, I'd probably just go like the Clinique Just Browsing brow gel, which I'll actually use in this video. Liner, I would choose the Maybelline Hyper Sharp Wing Liner. What else is there? What am I forgetting? If I actually had to choose just one from any category, I'd probably give up makeup, because I get bored of things very quickly. If I have to use them day in, day out, I'm just like, this is bland as fuck. Like, I would just prefer to go makeup free, basically. All right, now that I've got that on, you can see it's just like, it's a tiny bit of product. It's not much at all. It's not really even meant to look like eyeshadow. It's just to add a little bit of like shadow to the eye and, you know, dimension with shade and light, basically. And I'm going to take the J146 from Hakuhodo and I'm going to blend that in. But first, question. I'm going to butcher this name. Is it Ariscodum? I hope so. How's your Invisalign process coming, and hair color goals? So my hair color goals is to just grow the bleach damage part out of my hair and go back to my natural color, which is this one up here. My hair's growing really quickly at the moment, so that's great. I'm pretty happy with how everything's going. I recently have been fighting the urge to dye my hair the color that it was before I started bleaching it, which was like a super dark brown. It was almost black, it was that dark, but I feel like there would be people who come across beauty news who would, like, their heads might implode because they're like, what's the name of the blonde and what's the name of the brunette? They'd be like, what's the name of the brew? So yeah, I worry about that. But I'm actually more concerned about hair health at the moment. Like, I just want my hair to be healthy. I don't want to have to worry about, like, you know, hair breakage and stuff due to coloring it. So yeah, I just want to go back to my natural color and enjoy that for a while. As for Invisalign, it's going really well. I feel like my teeth are at a really awkward stage. They're like sort of straight but not really straight, and I've got like gaps here and there, but it's like it's coming along. It's a long process. I'll be on Invisalign for the rest of this year and at least a really major chunk of next year, maybe even all of next year. So yeah, it's like it's slow going. At the moment my teeth are sort of being rotated into like correct positioning and also still being like brought out in some places so that it can make space for rotation. So yeah, it's slow going, but I'm happy. I'm really glad that I did like get Invisalign. It's you know, I see the difference, so that makes me really pleased. It's just, you know, I mean, if it could all be done overnight, it would be fantastic, but it can't. So yeah, I just accept it for what it is. Michelle asks, you seem to love to travel. Have you ever visited the States? If so, where? What countries have you been to? Which are your favorites and why? I have never been to the States. I did go around a good chunk of Europe with my dad in 2012. And that was fantastic. We went to places like Barcelona, Amsterdam. We went all around Ireland. We went to a few places in England and France. Where else did we go? We went to Belgium. I feel like I'm forgetting places, but I can't remember. It was great. I really loved it. I think one of my favorite, like, I kind of loved everywhere for all different reasons. But I think like favorite places, I loved staying in London. I absolutely loved that because we were in the heart of the city and it was just like constantly something to do. It was so good. I also really enjoy Amsterdam. I think Amsterdam is fucking beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I love Ireland. Like, that place is just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like something out of a fucking movie. It is absolutely beautiful. France, lots of places in France. Paris, I absolutely adore. They've got so much history there. And like the architecture is just amazing. Yeah, I love Europe. I really want to go back to Europe. But it's a sort of place like you've got to go for weeks. You can't, if you're coming from Australia and flying to Europe for like a week, it's a complete waste because the airfares are so expensive. It's a really long way away and it's like, there's too much to see over there. You can't see enough. Even in 6 weeks. Like, by the time we got home, I was like, I'm fucking done. I was exhausted. But yeah, you gotta go over there and have a lot of time to dedicate to traveling. Of course, I've also been to Japan, which many of you will know. I love Japan. It's fantastic. And I've been to Bali, and I also think Bali is absolutely beautiful. Like, there's just, oh my god, the world is such a beautiful place. I just want to go traveling again. Okay, this question is from Lizavita. Hope I pronounced that right. How's your stuff and you doing after the big KonMari declutter you did about 1.5 years ago? Did you feel it became kind of easier to breathe? And like, did more clutter come back into my life, or am I managing it? So I do think the clutter comes back into your life over time, but something I learned with KonMari is that it's so much easier to notice when areas of your life are getting out of control, and it's much easier to be like, all right, that's a bit crazy, I'm gonna sort that shit out. So I find that much easier to deal with and more easier to recognize when things are getting out of hand. I really enjoy the KonMari method and I would like to do more videos on it. However, something that I experienced, here we go, I'm gonna go on a little rant, sippy. Something that I realized when I was doing my KonMari methods or KonMari method videos was sometimes they would get a lot of views, and you would have people coming in going, this is wrong, that's not the KonMari method, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. It is the KonMari method, okay? Have you read the book? There's two that I know of, two that I read back to front. So there's the Magic Art of Tidying Up, and then there's Spark Joy. So the Magic Art of Tidying Up, or whatever it's called, something like that, that basically teaches you the premise of how to use the method. Spark Joy talks about what joy is, because the whole point of the KonMari method, if you're not familiar with it, is to declutter areas of your life. You do it in like sections, so like all the clothes, all the makeup, all fucking the, you know, household dishes and shit like that. You do it in sections, and if something doesn't spark joy, you get rid of it. Now, when I was reading The Magic Art of Tidying Up, I was like, something's going on here. How the fuck do you know if something sparks joy or not? I'm thinking to myself, well, I fucking hate vacuuming. I hate it with a passion. It is one of my most hated chores to do. Does that mean I get rid of my fucking vacuum cleaner? I also hate cleaning the toilet. I think that is just, I don't like it. It's not a very nice experience. Does that mean I get rid of like all my toilet cleaning products and just never clean the toilet again? You know, we're talking about sparking joy here. If I'm genuinely keeping the things that spark joy, then I have to get rid of a bunch of things that just make living easy, basically. So I read Spark Joy, and that's when it clears up the things, you know, the obvious things. Don't get rid of your vacuum cleaner because eventually you're going to need it and you're going to have to buy a new one or borrow one off a friend. But also it talks about the different types of joy that people will feel from different things. So I remember like doing my palette declutter with KonMari. It was, people were like, you know, if you don't love it, get rid of it. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand that my palette collection in general brings me joy. So I think a lot of people like really didn't get that. I also did declutter of like general stuff, and I keep boxes for electronics that I buy. Like I buy an iPhone, I keep the box for it. And that's because my mum used to work in like resale, so secondhand dealing, antiques, stuff like that. And when I'd buy a new phone, I would sell my old one. And something that we know working in that industry is that if you have the box and all of the accessories for an item, its resale value goes up immediately. People love it when you've got the original box. So it makes me very happy to be able to get more money back on things that I'm selling. So I feel like when you put yourself out there doing the KonMari method on YouTube, some people are just, they don't get it. They literally don't get it. And they get really angry about it. And I don't understand why. Because it's my shit, not their shit. I don't get it. So yeah, KonMari method, it's fantastic. 100% would recommend everyone buy The Magic Art of Tidying Up and Spark Joy. Read them front to back. They're really easy reads. And then go forth and declutter. It is fantastic. Just don't put that shit on the internet because people will fucking rage at you for no reason at all. Okay, I need to set my face, and this is going to be problematic because I've left it too long. Peach Perfect Powder. Is that what it's called? Mattifying Loose Setting Powder. All right, let's get into this. I really like this powder. It's got this like, look, this is interesting. This thing here to like protect the sifter, it's kind of annoying because when you like try and get product, it's sort of, yeah, it's a little bit annoying. However, it's really cool because it does prevent product like pooling in the top. So that's handy. This is a Hakuhodo B103. Just gonna take a little bit of product, tap it in the sifter to disperse it, and pop it under my eyes. This powder is really cool because you only need a little bit of it to like actually set makeup. It sets really well. You don't have to like cake it on to really like lock everything in. Just a little bit will go a really long way. And this brush here is the B531 from Hakuhodo. Let's take another question. Adina says, I have sensitive eyes and constantly looking for good creamy matte eyeshadows that won't fluff into my eye. Everything I've tried so far is powdery. What do you suggest? I'm in the US. Okay, I can't really give you any advice. You're just going to have to try different brands until you find one that you like. The nature of eyeshadows is that they're pressed powders and they will always, you know, have some form of kick up. Yeah, I wish I could like offer good advice on this, but there's nothing that I can really give to you that will be really valuable information. Some eyeshadows are natural. Oh my god, this powder tastes delicious. Some eyeshadows are naturally more powdery than others, as I'm sure you know. Even like, you know, I can say my favorite eyeshadow is Bare Minerals, and they never let me down performance wise, but some of their shadows are simply more powdery than others. So it's really going to it's going to depend on like a shadow by shadow basis, basically. I don't feel like there's really much of an answer that I can give you on this one. I'm sorry. Rented Fashion is asking, in a perfect world, how many days would you upload on this channel? And is there a direction you want to take this channel to? How do you manage having this channel while juggling beauty news? Okay, so in a perfect world, I would upload every day on this channel because I love creating content. It's really like, it's so much fun. But one, I don't have enough ideas. I don't have enough time to film or edit. And yeah, I don't think that'll ever happen on this channel. This channel for me has always been just a hobby. The only direction I ever want to take this channel is to be creating things that I enjoy creating. So at the moment I'm loving doing these just doing my makeup videos. But you know, if that ever changes, then I just want to create the content that I enjoy creating. This channel for me is just a hobby. I only want to share things that I enjoy. And how do I manage having this channel while juggling beauty news? Look, I just try and do my best, really, you know. I think like beauty news takes up a lot of time, but it's not just that. Like I also, like I'm a carer for my mum, and up until recently I was also like doing a lot of like caring for my grandmother, and when she died I feel like I got a little bit more time, but that time was instantly sucked up with like other things that need to be done. So I feel like there's, you know, there's never going to be enough hours in the day or days in a week or fucking months in a year to sort of get everything done. I guess you just do it. I don't know. I suppose, you know, like sometimes I look at mums and I think, fuck man, how do you look after 4 children? Like, doesn't that like, aren't you literally going crazy? And they're like, no, just do it. You know, it's hard, but you just do it. And I'm like, oh, that's how I feel about YouTube. Like, it's hard. It's a lot of work, but if you love doing it, you just do it. And it's easy because you love it. Rented Fashion also says, love you. I love you too. Okay, I think I've literally powdered my face to death. Let's finish off these eyes. So I'm going to take the J5529 again, that's a small blender, and Combust again, this one. And I'm just going to put a little bit under my lower lash line, just on the outer corner, to add a little bit of a shadow. And yes, I just burped. Disgusting. This is from, is it Sarai? I really hate myself sometimes. I feel like such a jerk not being able to comprehend how to pronounce something. Anyway, the question is, what annoys you at the moment beauty-wise? Like a certain brand, a certain trend, anything you want to vent about, and what do you wish to see more of as a consumer? Okay, so actually, Huda Beauty is annoying me at the moment. That fucking rose remastered, that really annoys me. Just bring out a new fucking palette. My God, why are you bringing out something that was trendy 2 years ago? I don't get that. To me, I don't understand it. As a makeup consumer and someone who has watched like the beauty industry releasing different stuff year after year, I'm like, that's a bad idea. Why are you doing that? She'll sell palettes. I know she will. She'll probably make a bomb, but I'm not impressed. Something that I really would like to see, I'm gonna bronze. Let's bronze first. Let me show you what I'm using. I'm just gonna use the Too Faced Little Black Book of Bronzers, and I'm gonna use the shade Chocolate Soleil, which is this one here, and I'm gonna use what brush? Let's reach down here. B505 from Hakuhodo, so it's one of these ones. Okay, something I really want to see is big brands to do something out of the box and different and risky. They just don't do it. They don't do it. The people that do it are the indie brands, and that's why indie brands will always succeed eventually, because they bring what the consumers want to the table. They look at what people are screaming for and they go out and create it. So they will always succeed. Big brands, I don't know why they don't do it. Obviously, you know, there's the reason of you've got to create safe products. They make things, you know, masses and masses and masses of the same product to release them globally. And if they don't sell, they lose money. So, you know, I can see that, but yeah, I'd really love like really big brands to do something risky and different and, you know, sort of change trends. I honestly think consumers, beauty consumers, are the ones that create trends, and then brands will either jump on the bandwagon and just make like the generic trend related thing, and by the time they get around to doing that, people are like, we're so fucking over unicorn shit, like move on. And then there are brands that'll go, okay, sparkly duochrome unicorn shit is in at the moment, let's put our own twist on it. And then you've got, you know, Stila Magnificent Metals all of a sudden, and everyone's like fucking, oh my God. So I think like I'd like to see brands be more like Stila and do interesting stuff, rather than like L'Oreal bringing out yet another holographic craptastic piece of shit, basically. I definitely, you know, I'd love to see big brands taking more risks. I don't think it's ever going to happen, because it doesn't really make a huge, it doesn't make sense for them to do that as a big company who has a lot to lose. But you know, I think support more indie brands that are doing the cool shit, basically. I think that's, you know, moral of the story. If someone releases something that you're just like, yes, this is so inspiring and like I love this, support it. Vote with your money. Beauty by Angela says, best advice for new YouTube channels. Love your channel, Hayley. Love you too, Angela. Thank you. Oh, there's a few things. We did a wine time on this over on Beauty News, so I don't want to, you know, go on about it too much. And I've also had to start this camera 3 times already. So I think the big things: create content that you're passionate about. Try and have an upload schedule if you can. People, you know, you get into, it's kind of like your internal body clock. You get used to seeing the same YouTubers in your feed on specific days at specific times. It's a subconscious thing. So, you know, if you can upload every Tuesday at 5 p.m. your time, doesn't matter what time it is in the rest of the world, people will get used to seeing you at that time, or when they wake up, or when they get home from work, or whatever. So if you can have like an upload schedule, that is fantastic. Stick to it if you can. Metadata is really important. You have to learn about metadata. There is way too much that goes into it for me to discuss it in this video, but I will link the wine time. I think it goes up there, so you can check that out if you want. Yeah, but I think the big thing is put out stuff that you love, that you're passionate about, and be consistent. Also, get involved in the beauty community. That's a big one. Like, you know, comment on other people's videos. Don't, you know, spam stuff, but get out there and like interact with other people that are in the beauty community. Okay, I think that's enough bronzer, and I think if I ask another question and continue bronzing, I'm going to be in big trouble, and my not too much makeup will turn into way too much fucking makeup. I want to highlight, kinda, Hourglass Ambient Lighting Wardrobe. And this is a Hakuhodo, don't know, I think it's from the G range. It doesn't have a number on it. And I just take like all the shades, all of them. More is more. Not really, less is more. And we're gonna answer Anna's question, which is, what do you think of the cool neutrals trend that's about to unleash? I have some horrid flashbacks from the 90s of people wearing patchy, weird colored greys. Yeah, I feel you, I feel you. I think, okay, I'm not surprised cool tones are coming back. It was only a matter of time. And, you know, people aren't going to wear warm, like burnt orange and yellow fucking red eyeshadow for the rest of their days. The cool tone movement, it has to happen. Now, a couple of years ago, you know, and even, you know, in recent years, brands have still been bringing out cool tone palettes, and you'll look at them and they're all like weird steel greys and gunmetal grey and fucking pewter, and it's just like, oh god, how many fucking shades of grey do we really need? Like, the answer is not 50, my friend. And I think brands will, I do think some brands will continue to bring them out. And I think it's simply because they're kind of out of touch. And I think the best thing to do is to vote with your money. If you see those grey palettes and you're like, vomit, don't ever buy them. Like, just don't touch them with a 40-foot pole. Brands will work it out. If they're smart, you know, they'll be doing their market research and finding out what people really do want to see. I think the cool tone movement is good, as long as it's not the greys that we were just discussing. For me, what I want to see with the cool tone movement is actually pretty much colours that, you know, every colour of the rainbow you could do it with a grey undertone. So sort of like, you know, you've got people like pink shades or purple shades, add in grey, and you've created what we know to be a mauve. But you can also do that with blues and greens. You can do it with yellows. You can do it with anything. If we can bring in the grey toned shadows rather than the straight up greys, people are going to really love the cool tone movement. I'm going to use the Maybelline Hyper Sharp Wing Lighter. I'm going to take this off so it doesn't screw up my hair, which I just washed. Next question is from Emma. Hi Emma. How's your mum going, and how is the process going with your teeth? All right, I talked about Invisalign. Mum's really good. She's actually going in for laser eye surgery, probably on the day that this video is going up, actually. Oh my god, this is gonna be so difficult. So she goes in to have the laser eye surgery on Thursday on one eye, and then the next day on the other eye. So that's a thing that's happening, but yeah, she's good. Crystal asks, are you watching the royal wedding tonight? Okay, so I was going to, but I've made plans to go out, so I'm recording it on Foxtel. I love, crap, I need to, hang on, silence please, I need to concentrate. So I love the royal family, like love them. I'm not too sure how I feel about Meghan Markle yet, but you know, that's okay. I wish them all the best, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it. I can't wait to sit down and watch it. Yeah, more power to them. More royal weddings, more royal babies. I love it. Doing wings on my, or doing eyeliner in general on my left eye is always so much more difficult. Oh my god, I literally look like I let Mr. Squiggle have a go at doing those wings, but oh well. Amanda asks, if you weren't on a low buy, what would be the first thing you would purchase? Honestly, like, nothing. There is nothing that I want. If there was something that I wanted, I would just buy it, because I do have some allowances with my low buy at the moment. But I feel like this year is the first year that I've done a low buy that's actually been easy for me. Like, it's just come completely naturally. I've done them in the past, and hang on, I need to be quiet again. So I've done low buys in the past and failed at them. And I guess that's because I was still very, very inspired by things that were being released. Whereas now I'm more inspired by what I already own. So I just don't really feel the need to buy anything. Like, I just want to love what I have. I've just chucked on a little bit of their Real Mascara on one eye, and I'm gonna do the other and then layer it up. Anna wants to know, what are your favorite eyeshadow singles? Do you have recommendations from indie brands? Low-key hoping you won't say Colourpop, because it's a pain in the ass to get in the UK. She actually said pain in the butt, but I read it pain in the ass. Also, you are awesome. Thank you, Anna. You are awesome too. Look, skip Colourpop. I know you guys have to pay like custom fees and stuff like that for products that come from overseas. So my advice, I haven't purchased from many indie brands, to be perfectly honest, but my advice would be jump on Instagram and look for UK indie makeup brands, or do a Google search. Follow those brands and just start seeing like what they're releasing. And if you jump in their socials and read comments and stuff, people will tell you what the quality is like. You'll be able to like gauge what their quality is like and their customer service, and you'll also be able to see like what they're creating and what they're releasing. And then when they do release something that really inspires you or excites you, vote with your money, basically. Buy the things that you love, and you know, give them praise when you think they've done a good job. Brands can't know that they're doing well unless you tell them. Like, you know, sometimes products will look really great and they'll sell out, but they get a, you know, they don't get a great review because they're crappy products. But you have to put it out there. You have to encourage the brands to bring out more of what is good by letting them know it was great, and tell them when things aren't so great, but do it respectfully, of course. I wish I could offer like more advice and be more specific with brands, but I really haven't delved into indie makeup all that much. And I think, like, you know, I'm happy to go on my low buy this year, and I might even carry it through to a good chunk of next year. But I really do actually want to, you know, invest a bit more in like indie brands and sort of, you know, dip my toes into the water. Or look, I jump in head first, but you know what I'm saying. I want to explore that world a little bit further, and, you know, find out who I like, and, you know, what brands are sort of on my wavelength, I suppose, when it comes to makeup releases. But to do that, you really do just have to watch them and buy their products and see what you like. Okay, next question. Sarah or Sarah? I think it's Sarah. What is your favorite makeup item to use, and what has been your favorite makeup look? Favorite makeup look, I can't choose one. Like, half the time I can't even remember what I ate for breakfast. So I really struggle to remember, like, you know, what makeup I wore on any given day. Sometimes when I'm filling in my makeup list for beauty news, I'm like, I cannot remember what I was wearing. So yeah, I don't look back on my makeup and go, that was a great look, and I recreate it over and over. My favorite makeup item to use, again, this one's really hard. Anything that wears really well and applies really nicely to the skin without having to, like, you know, this sparkly eyeshadow is fucking gorgeous, but I have to wear a specific primer and I have to use a specific brush. And if that brush isn't wet, it's not going to go on as well as it can. Like, products like that, they piss me off. But when products are like really simple to use and they give a beautiful effect and they wear really nicely, that, like, I have great appreciation for that. For me, that is a fantastic product. Next question is from Rose, and they ask, how many lipsticks do you have in total? I have no idea. Like, I actually have no idea. I did my lipstick declutter, and I know I did put my numbers in the very last video that I did, but I also have a lot of, like, other lip products that didn't go into those videos because they were sent by subscribers, or they were lipsticks that I had picked up at the very end of last year. So absolutely dead set no idea, but do know the number is more than any one person could probably ever need. Okay, so Alexandra would like to know, what do you think about forgotten brands like Sigma or Makeup Geek? Why people, in your opinion, don't talk about them anymore? All right, let's get into this. I'm gonna mist my face with the Uemura Skin Perfector. This is in Yuzu, because this powder can get a bit, it feels a little bit like tight on the face. If you have really oily skin, you will love that Peach Perfect powder. It's good stuff. Also, this you can hold up really close to your face because it's a super fine mist. Oh my god, it smells amazing. I don't know why Sigma fell off the train. Honestly, I don't. Sigma make beautiful brushes, all right? And yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if it's because they potentially moved away from working with influencers, like, as in stopped giving product for free to influencers. But recently I've noticed they're doing a lot more, like, not collaborations, I suppose collaborations. They're doing a lot more, like, favorite sets with, like, influencers. So they might be coming back. I think they realize that in today's age of, like, beauty consumption, you have to be in with the influencers to really get your name out there. But I think, like, Sigma can totally make a comeback. They can survive because they have great products that they can stand behind. I do think they're a little bit, I don't know, not overpriced, because I think their price matches their quality. But I do think they can be a little bit expensive, which can make it a brand that isn't quite as accessible to people who might be on a budget and not have as much disposable income as some other people can have. And I do think sometimes Sigma bring out some, like, weird gimmicky products, so maybe that's got something to do with it. As for Makeup Geek, look, I feel bad for Marlena because I know she went through some shit. And I'm just going to pop some brow product in my brows. Clinique Just Browsing in 01 Blondie. So Marlena went, oh my god. Yeah, that's great. I can really see out of that. So Marlena went through some shit, you know. I feel bad for her because life can be so draining at times, and it can really affect, like, you know, personal life, career, stuff like that. So I feel bad for her, and it's obviously affected her brand. And I think that is, I don't know, like, I don't want to say it's because they brought out crappy products, because it wasn't, like, they had the lipsticks and stuff, but also I just felt like maybe the lipsticks weren't really bringing enough to the table. The lipsticks sort of felt like something that should have been done a couple of years ago, basically. And with the are they the Power pigments that she's bringing out now, I don't hate the idea of them, but I'm not sure that it's really enough to get her back on the bandwagon, basically. So I don't know what's going to happen with Makeup Geek. And the fact that she's focusing on another brand as well, the, is it Marstel or Marstel? I think it's Marstel. That makes me worry that Makeup Geek is not getting the attention that it needs to grow. But I mean, if that's her choice, then that's her choice. You do sometimes just move away from things or move on from them, and maybe she is moving on from Makeup Geek. I don't know, but yeah, it does make me a little bit sad when you see brands that do have such potential sort of flop, I suppose. Another one's OCC. Like that's pretty sad. And again, I don't think OCC is ever going to make a comeback. Laura is asking, if all your makeup got destroyed, what products would you immediately run out and buy? I think that goes back again to like the, if I could only have one of each product, those types of things. They're the like top tier stuff that I really, really love. And also, if you could only own 3 eyeshadow palettes, which would you pick? Bare Minerals Regal Wardrobe. I love that one. Fantastic cool tone palette. Absolute fave. Probably the Huda Desert Dusk. I love that because you've got beautiful metallics, duochromes, beautiful mattes. It's stunning. I just looked through my palette drawers and I don't know. I literally, like, I cannot choose another one. Let's just say if I could only have 2 palettes, what would I have? Desert Dusk and Regal Wardrobe. This is a lip gloss from Colourpop. Sorry. I can't remember what it's called. Is it Dopey? That's pretty much my makeup done. Usually when I'm not yabbering on, this takes me like, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. But I yabbered on. And I'm going to continue. So let's keep going. Blue Rose asks, when you were starting out with makeup, did you stick to only one look at a time? Yeah, pretty much. You kind of, you know, when you start out with makeup, you have like a couple of items. You might only have like 1 or 2 eyeshadows or 1 eyeshadow palette. And you just kind of like, you know, you're doing the same thing over and over and over. And then you're like, ooh, that's a pretty palette. Or, I want to try that foundation or that blush or that highlight. And as your collection grows, you grow along with it and you start creating, you know, a multitude of different looks. You start off sort of doing the same thing over and over, and as you get more confident, you just expand. All right, guys, so there we have it. Q&A for you guys, and my sort of like, you know, every day just want to look nice, feel nice kind of makeup, but not be too done up. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to let me know what your like everyday kind of makeup routine is down in the comment section. It's all yours. And if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.